The United States says it can maintain its naval blockade of Iran indefinitely. As Washington and Tehran remain at odds over how to end the war and reopen the Strait of Hormuz, US Vice President JD Vance said Washington remained confident it could achieve two key objectives: preventing Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon while keeping energy prices stable. Speaking to Fox News, Vance said the United States would emerge from the confrontation in a stronger position and was using diplomatic, military, and economic tools selectively to achieve its goals. But he acknowledged that the situation remained unpredictable, accusing Iran of sometimes failing to honor commitments it had made.
Well, the thing I can say with confidence is I think this ends with the United States in a stronger position, with Iran not having a nuclear weapon, and with the Strait of Hormuz returned to a place where oil and gas prices are stable for the American people. I think the issue here, Will, is that the Iranians sometimes make commitments that they don't honor. They make a deal, they don't honor the deal. And I understand your point about the seesaw nature of this, but I think what that reflects is that we have a lot of tools at our disposal to compel action. And sometimes we're focused on the energy piece of it because we want Americans to be able to afford the price of oil and gas. Sometimes we're obviously focused on the military nature of it. Sometimes we're focused on the nuclear program. So I think what is really happening is that you're seeing a president of the United States at the height of his authority with a lot of tools, diplomatic, military, and economic. What I think is really going on from the inside is that we're using those tools very selectively, very strategically to get the outcome that the President of the United States needs to get for the benefit of the American people. And it really is twofold. It's ensuring that the Gulf countries continue to send oil and gas to the world economy so that we have energy price stability. That's obviously important for the American people. I know that oil is down today, and it's way down from the highs in the early days of the conflict. That's goal number one: keep oil and gas cheap for Americans all over our country. And then obviously goal number two is ensure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon. I feel confident we're accomplishing both of those goals, but it's inherently an unpredictable thing because the Iranians themselves are unpredictable and they sometimes don't honor the commitments they've made to us.
At the same time, US Defence Secretary Pete Hegseth said the US Navy had the capacity to maintain its blockade of Iranian shipping and ports indefinitely. Hegseth said American ships could be rotated in and out of the region to sustain the operation. The blockade has inflicted significant economic damage on Iran by restricting access to its main sources of foreign currency. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent also warned that Washington could intensify its economic pressure on Tehran, saying further measures would be announced next week. The tougher US stance comes as efforts to revive a June ceasefire agreement has stalled. Iran, meanwhile, continues to insist that it controls the Strait of Hormuz and rejects President Donald Trump's claim that the United States has total control over the strategic waterway.
Look, the only one that has control of the Strait of Hormuz right now is the United States Navy. We have a blockade that's been infallible. It's a steel wall. And we let people in that we want to let in, and those people come in, and they've been coming in and they're going out. So it's actually open now. We do not let them go into Iran. They're not admitted into the strait to go to Iran. But it's open for others.
The strait carries around 1/5 of global oil and liquefied natural gas supplies before the war began. Iranian officials say commercial ships cannot safely pass through the waterway without approval and supervision from Iranian forces. Tehran has said it will not reopen the strait until the United States meets a series of conditions, including lifting sanctions, releasing frozen Iranian assets, and addressing compensation for war-related damage. Iranian officials have also been demanding an end to the US blockade of Iranian ports. The standoff has already sharply reduced shipping through the waterway. Recent traffic has fallen to only a handful of vessels a day, compared with more than 100 ships moving through the strait before the war. The reduced shipping is putting further pressure on global energy supplies. The International Energy Agency now expects global oil supplies to fall by more than 4 million barrels per day this year because of the conflict and related disruptions. Oil prices have also remained volatile as markets weigh declining demand against the risk of further supply disruptions. The situation was further complicated by reports of attacks on shipping in the region, including an incident involving vessels belonging to the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company. The United Arab Emirates condemned the attacks as Iranian strikes. Iran has also warned about the environmental damage in the region after an oil spill reached its southern Qashm island. Its foreign ministry said preliminary evidence pointed to a foreign bulk carrier and called for those benefiting from shipping through the waterway to help address the environmental damage. Meanwhile, Pakistan has urged the United Nations to strengthen protections for commercial shipping and seafarers following deadly attacks in the Red Sea, Gulf of Aden, and Bab al-Mandab Strait. Pakistan's UN Ambassador Asim Iftikhar Ahmed condemned attacks on commercial vessels, including one on August 11th that killed 3 Pakistani crew members and 1 Indonesian national. He said the safety of international shipping and seafarers must be protected under international law. Pakistan also warned that the escalating regional conflict must not overshadow Yemen's worsening humanitarian crisis. Islamabad called for a Yemeni-led political process, saying dialogue remains the only viable path towards a lasting settlement.
We are particularly concerned by recent Houthi attacks and reported civilian casualties in Al-Hudaydah, Marib, Hadramaut, and elsewhere. Escalation would only inflict more suffering on the Yemeni people and further narrow the space for diplomacy. Pakistan condemns in the strongest terms the Houthi missile and drone attacks and threats against the brotherly kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Such provocative actions pose a grave threat to regional peace and stability. Pakistan stands in solidarity with Saudi Arabia and reaffirms its unwavering support for the kingdom's sovereignty, territorial integrity, and peace and prosperity. We also strongly condemn the Houthi attacks against commercial shipping in the Red Sea, the Gulf of Aden and Bab al-Mandab, including the 11th August attack on commercial vessel Tehama, which tragically resulted in the deaths of 3 Pakistani crew members and 1 Indonesian crew member, and injuries to 7 others. Such actions threaten regional security, undermine freedom of navigation, and jeopardize uninterrupted flow of global commerce. The safety and security of international maritime shipping and protection of seafarers must be respected in accordance with international law.
With Washington insisting that its blockade can continue indefinitely and Tehran refusing to reopen the Strait of Hormuz without its conditions being met, the standoff continues to pose a major risk to regional stability and global energy supplies.